Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to show you how to paint a beautiful little waterfall. First thing we do is wet the paper. You're all aware of that. So we wet the paper, get it nice and wet here, prep it for our sky. Colors I use are ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Make it a little gray. Put a little bit more clouds up in the sky because it is a gray sky. And here we go, a little bit more gray in the sky. Okay, so now here we go. We've got the sky going. We're going to do our mid-ground or horizon. We're going to do the trees now. So here we go with the trees. I use a little bit of green. I use a hooker's green, and in this particular case, I mix it with a little bit of a blue. And that's going to be just for the beginning of my trees. And here I'm adding a couple of other colors randomly. I use a burnt orange in there, and I'm using a cad orange, and I just mix them up. I don't put them in any particular place. I just want a nice background. The reason I add it is just to add some color to the trees. And here I'm just darkening up the front, just to sort of try and add a little bit of depth to it. The darker the trees in the up front, it makes them look a little closer, and the lighter that the orange and the burnt orange are in the background, it makes it look a little bit more distant. Here I'm trying to straighten out the bottom. Unfortunately, I'm a little too late. It's drying up a tad, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to put the water in, and once we put the water in, it won't even show up. And here I'm just adding some more treetops, a little bit more contrast to it, just so it's not all one solid color. Now I'm going to put in the water. The water is fast flowing, so I'm not going to do it all even. You'll see I'll leave some white spaces in here just to show sort of like the rapids and the water going. Now I'm painting a rock, or rocks rather, and what I use is a pretty heavy mixture of ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, and burnt sienna. Here I'm scraping the rocks out with my palette knife. You can see it's really fast and simple, and basically what I'm doing is just putting some light onto the rocks, and you get to see a little bit of the grain. You notice the dots in there. And here I'm painting the trees in, putting a nice big pine tree over here, and another pine tree over here, and that'll be in the forefront of the foliage. Foliage will be in the background. Now all that's pretty dark. I'm probably going to add a little bit of yellow to that. And so now I want to just come back to the foliage, put a little grass on here. Going to darken up the bottoms of the trees here, and eventually I'm going to put a little bit yellow in there just to add contrast to the foliage here. Another tree over on the side. And here I'm putting the yellow on top just to lighten it up a tad. And I'm going to put some down on the rocks to try and lighten up the green, make it look more like grass. Here's the yellow right there. Put a few strokes in there just to make it look like the grass. And next I'm going to do the other side with a rock or rocks. And again, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, and burnt sienna. Comes out nice and dark and gray. I usually mix the blue first, and then I add some brown, and then on top of that I put the blue so it's not too brown. But in this particular time I left the brown on, and you can see that's the dominant color here. Now I'm scraping out the rocks again, and what I do is, it basically I'm just showing the light on the rocks, so it's just basically the tops. And because it's a batch of rocks, you see the light on the top being light and the dark at the bottom of the rocks. Now I'm putting on the trees, the pine trees. I want you to know I just draw a line up, and then I just use the side of the brush to show the branches. And that sort of, as a dry brush, it breaks up the marks, and it makes it look very realistic. And again, I use the green, and in this particular case, I'm using the blue to darken it up. And I want to, I'm going to add another tree over here. And again, you notice the branches are broken. It looks very natural, very real. And I want to add a little bit more yellow on that to lighten it up a tad. There we go. Just to add some contrast to the trees there. So once I've got all of that going, I can start working on my waterfall again. I'm going to put a few dark lines into the river. And now I'm going to put in a little bit of mist at the bottom. Lots of water. My brush has more water and very little color in there. And eventually I'm gonna blot that out a little bit just to make it look a little bit more foamy. No harsh lines. Here I'm going to do some trees in the near background, just so that you can see them and add a little bit of depth. These are going to come forward, look a little bit more closer to us than the trees in the background. And I show them as a little taller just to show that they're, well, just to make the perspective, just to show that they're a little closer. And I put a few more trees over here. By the way, your feedback is really important to us, so please let us know what you think in the comment section below. And here I'm just blending in the top of the mist just to make it look a little bit more natural. We'll put a couple of birds flying around on both sides here. Just a few birds, nothing serious. Randomly, I have no idea where they're going to go. It's wherever I feel like putting them. I'm just going to put a few just around the treetops. I spread the wings. Some fly this way, some fly that way. Some are a little smaller, some are a little bigger. And now I'm just going to add a couple of trees in here just to make the foliage, the scene look a little bit more natural, a little normal. There's always these trees, extra trees hanging out, and I just wanted to put them in here. And again, I'm doing the same in the middle ground, just putting some plain trees in. And there you have it, a peaceful waterfall. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you did, please hit the like button, and please remember to subscribe to our channel. That would really mean a lot to us. Thanks again for joining us today. Hope to see you real soon.